Where do you think I get it from? Where do you think I get it from? 13 weeks makes one season. 4 of them make 52 weeks. The Indians say the month is the full moon, but there's a transfer point from the full moon to the next moon, okay? And the transfer point from the Indians, as they call it the 28th, it's sometimes the 29th and sometimes the 30th. Don't forget, our Earth is not perfectly round, so when they take out the reason for pi, like I've discussed before, that's one of the reasons for pi. If I learn more about pi from a school of some sort, I'll definitely be able to figure out a whole lot more. What I want to talk about right now is, this one is in specifics. I definitely can figure out this whole book if I understood the letters a little bit more and their usages. You see, I don't know the Hebrew language as much, but I can tell you that this is red spirit. I can tell you that this is green for life, and this is an electronic world, and this is the game of life, okay? When you put the yellow, okay, when you put the game together, and you take the aleph into the electronic world, you need the yellow energy to run the game. And then you have the 4 corners of the machine to bring the life. Hey, Vav is 6. Vav is the electronic world. It stands for 2468. But mostly of all, it's the 6th letter and stands for the 6th part of man in the blue electronic world, Vav. Zion, okay, the God is the energy of the electronic world of the 4 angles, okay, and the 4 horse and thoroughbred is yellow with that energy, and the 6 in standardbred is yellow with that energy, which would earn this color, yellow and blue. What does yellow and blue make? A purple? Does it make a purple, yellow, and blue? What makes purple? You see, because the colors of the racehorses from standardbred and thoroughbred, and you got to use both of them, because what's on the left of tic-tac-toe and what's on the right of tic-tac-toe and what's in the bottom section, there's 4 sections. They each can turn around once, twice, 3, 4 sides, okay? 4 sides of a die, which would be 3, actually it's 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other 2 sides is the 1 and 6 that doesn't turn, and the reason the 1 and 6 dice stays in the north and stays in the south is no matter how many times you turn that dice, the 6 is still in the north and the 1 is still in the south, okay? Which means the 1 spirit of man is still connected, okay, to the 6th man, which are the 6 islands creating the 7. It's the 1 spirit, okay, but it's the 2 spirit that directs it. So what you have to say is the 1 spirit of God and the 1 spirit of beta that directs it, which shows the number 2 at the same time, yes, and a 1 is 2. You see, 2, it's 11 at the same time, because God put the expression in it that way. Now, you want to give me a second? You can put it on pause. You can go get a coffee, because I'm a little busy right now. You don't want me to stop. Come on, man. My brain's got to think. Okay, so I found the cigarettes, and I found 2 lighters on the floor. Okay. I found something I might like to do. Jump off the Hebrew. That's basically the design of our universe. Okay. You got A, B, C, D. One of the reasons for A, B, C, D, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals the beta world 10. It's the 4 angles that make the completion of the 10. Now the 4 jumps direct to the 10 now. A, B, C, D, and then to the 10. We skip over the electronic world. And getting to skip over the electronic world, I'm now going to have to show you how the worlds mix. You see, why God can make everything go together in His world is because of this. Okay? In our world, we're the beta. Okay? We're the machine. This is the insert into the machine. This goes around, okay? And it can constantly change paths. Except they can't change paths to here because of the hole. So the only way to change that path is by Jupiter in the center. And Jupiter turns all the way around, and no matter what Jupiter does, Jupiter is the 5 key on your telephone, and it means everything. Okay? This is what they call the disk universe. 7286 constellation of Pegasus in, what is it, NGC? Okay, the disk universe. Okay? It's a slip-in universe. You can't do anything any more than what the disk says. That's it. That's why the angel, okay, we're the ball. We're like that pinball. So, and we're the three worlds which share three teeth, okay? Because we have row on top, row on the bottom, the shark teeth of the three worlds. So anyways, what I wanted to get to the disc, you see in beta you have to rewind and wind. But in the disc, like I said, you just cut across. Now, the reason I don't count the 6 anymore with the 4, because in order to come into the 10-10 world, 4 has to make 10. So automatically you put 6 across from it. And then you can run the wiring, coming in from one end, going into something else, and coming back in the other end. When you do that, this is the design that it makes. Okay, I separated. Take a good look on the left, my hand, that's tic-tac-toe. I added the U because I added the wiring to transfer the energy around beta in that design. Now if I want beta to have the energy, all I have to do is what they call the pigtail. Okay, and where is it? You see the X I put in the middle there? That's the pigtail. Okay, but there's more than one. The pigtails curl, 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 because that's the energy coming into one section. It's like a feed mill for animals. They bring all the feeds to one area, they put it in the mix mill, and it goes out all mixed up into the bin. I dump the bin into my truck, I drive it over to the pig house, I back up my truck, I hook up the hoses, but wait, I have to start the machine after to make it blow. That's what the machine does. I also have to make sure that I don't overfill the bin and it'll go out the exhaust. Because when I put the feed into an empty bin, if I block the exhaust, the feed won't go in. I'll have a backpipe. You always have to have the flow. The reason for the I world is that flow. So the energy continues. That's why you have a ground. You have a yellow, you have a green, you have a red, you have a black, you have a white. Okay? Leave gray out of this. And there's my gray cat. Hey, Gray, you know what I called him? I call him Ralph Mouth. You know why from Ralph Mouth? Because Ralph is the angel resident. And they're like, hey, all the angels are always bubbly and laughing. That's why when you take on a little weight, we sometimes become more bubbly. And then sometimes if you put your mind into just this world, you can see the difference between a happy fat person and a sad fat person. You can see the way they think. Why am I saying that? Because of the bubbles. Beta's bubbles are larger than anybody else. Anyways, what I want to talk about next, okay, is I'm going to say bet, because bet, okay, this, okay, means the center in between the resh. This is a resh. This over here is 7, 8, 9, which would be Zion, Chet, Tet. The bottom of this here says Zion, Chet, Tet. That's what this line says, okay? And it's the yellow, and the reddish, and the green. Okay, that's a light. Now this just says the electronic world. Resh, okay, is an R and an E, which means resident electronic. But in the English language, it's an R, saying angel resident, for the resh. That's why you see a resh here, and you see a resh here. And where else do you see a resh? Do we see a resh anywhere? Is there a resh hidden in any other letter? No, but the Kaf and the Lamed have the same leg. The only reason, okay, the Kaf, what I understand, doesn't go up any higher, because it's a stop bar. You see the bars? Okay, these are stop bars. The thicker the bar, it means it stops. Okay? There's something that's stopping it. It's reached the end of the height, and it reached the low of the height. You see, the reason this is down here on the cuff, okay, is because there's beta world. You see, there's 2 worlds down, and basically 1 world up. Or there's 1 world down, 1 world up, and 1 world east-west. Okay, that's the connection of the cross of Jesus. I'm sorry to mention that on a Hebrew book. So this is also the number 7, which stands for the 7 islands of God. 1, 2, 3. Now you come down to this point is 4, 5, and you start here is 6. Center is 7, and you got this one is 8. So 7 and 1 actually counts for 8. So this would be the 1 Spirit of God. But no, this has to say the 2 Spirit of God. Sorry, because by being blue, it's the electronic world. So maybe the Kaf is the 1 Spirit of God, but this is the electronic world, so it's a Kaf. The Resh is the energy again. The Tav is the energy. Sameach is the energy. This whole book is coded. Because they did it this way, whoever chose to make the book, the whole book becomes the code of whoever made the design, whoever put this all together. He's the one who coded it. Now, I decode it, okay, either the way he sees it and thinks it, or I decode it the way I see it. Now, you take what he sees and says to what I see and say, of this and that, just to see the difference, and maybe we can come out with less of what he knows and less of what I know to come out with a little bit that's actually right out of the whole thing. So we take all of what we know and we come down to a final point, and then you write in the dictionary definition. Isn't that the way to do it? They don't do that in the government office. Yeah, they got 30, 40, 100, 200 people sitting there. Hey man, they got 10,000 in the shopping center. They got 20 in the office. 10,000 different decisions. And they got 27 people deciding. But break down the decision. If you really understand the way the breakdown of all decisions are, you see the Americans have it the best way. Okay? Things can get vetoed. I mean, the American way, you know, I've talked down about them lately in most of my cassettes, but the American way, that's the way. That's the true way. The American independence. I just learned this right now in front of you. Okay? I had a flash. Boom. I must read it. Because it is the independence and declaration of the independence is what brings man for the understanding of what we are actually supposed to be doing here and what it means to be independent. Okay, now what happened, okay, is that we get to the dictionary and we see independent of the USA and we know what it's all about, and 100 years goes by and it doesn't look like, man, everybody wants to be rich. They were stealing money thousands of years ago. People were robbed. Thousands of years ago, since the beginning of time, everybody was being robbed and taking a gamble. So, Declaration of Independence lets everybody have that chance of freedom. Gives everybody a voice and opinion. It's the American way. But what happens now, because for some reason money became very powerful, and it meant a lot more than anything else, it meant more than putting an extra doctor in the hospital. I mean, I live in a city of maybe 150,000 within 20 kilometers, and if the 120,000 put $5 in each, right, every single month, $5 a month, okay, 120,000, $5 a month, 600 grand. Think you can pay for a doctor in our region or sit in the hospital for 24 hours? Money became in between. So then you had Robin Hood, stole from the rich, you gave it to the poor. Robin Hood, R&H, angel resident of the heavens. He came down as an expression through the minds of the creators of Hollywood, who transmitted over to us, and one of us has seen it, and I'm giving you what my back take is on Robin Hood. Batman and Robin, he's wearing the yellow breast. Okay, the bird is the beta bird, she flies high in the sky. He wears the green and the red cape of God over his back. Black man is because everything passes through him. He becomes black. He's all of those Robin colors, but instead of putting the green light, just keep it with the electronic world blue, okay? And Batman's connected to the electronic world. You have Joker with the black question marks. And anyways, let me get back into this, what I was doing. Okay, in the Hebrew language, sometimes you see this. Mickey Mouse ears. Now this can mean a few things. This can mean central station, number 5 on your phone, of the one Spirit of God, or the one God of the three creation. Now this three creation can either say one God and 7 heaven, because it's a cross, okay? It's a cross. This whole thing is a game, okay? If I put another one like this right away, it's going to do this. Okay, I did the same thing. Now you have the 2 passages, okay? Here's the triangle at the bottom. Here's the triangle at the top. Now if I extend that triangle just a little bit, I think it goes like this, and like this, and so I extend it like that. Now I've got the same thing. Now why did I put one here and one here? Well, in the Hebrew alphabet, they have those little things underneath, the dots underneath. Well, the dots underneath are these 2 dots here, got put outside here and here. Okay, first you had the 3 dots. Then I did it upside down, just like the playing cards, okay? We are Jewish, we are Hebrew, we know our letters, but I'm telling you, how this works out. This is a reflection, like the playing cards. Look at a playing card. Can I get you out a playing card? I have a couple of small ones. Look, I don't have to tell you anything else. I'm just doing it the way they do it. The playing card, it's almost the same, but it's not the same on both sides. It's not, I fold them, they're not the same. So I'm just telling you what I read into it. Like you want to do pi, you can do pi. But every scenario, okay, has its own calculation. So I take a look at a card and I calculate all the cards the same way. But when it comes to the pictures, okay, it's crazy because the King of Diamonds, only one piece of his works. And some of the cards have to be bent on this angle, okay, to see the true height, part of pi, isn't that the way it works? And then when it turns around the earth, okay, because it's actually just in like this, it's actually cutting into more space. Linear, it's linear. When this linear turns, okay, although it's thin, if it's a little thing on a clock, it's only pointing to something, right? But when a linear turns, okay, a wide linear, like a wide linear, I'm going to show you a wide linear. Here's a short one, here's a wide one. Here's a wide linear, okay? When this turns around, okay, it's going to use up all the space all the way around, just by one line. So if you put a line here and a line in the center, you'll now have 4 equal positions. Now those 4 equal positions is like the horse on the merry-go-round. You get on the merry-go-round, there's not a horse on top of a horse. They're all separated. So what happens now is exactly like I'm trying to tell you is that, hold on, A, B, C, D, back to the beginning. I hope I don't lose you. These 4 blocks here, okay, they each have 4 sides. They turn, this one turns, this one turns, this one turns, this one turns, and then there's the one in the middle that turns with all of them up here. Now, which way do they turn and how does the gear in the middle here work? Now that we're into the gear in the middle, the gear, we're going to think of a sprocket. And we think of a sprocket, and we think of these sprockets and the Jetsons. And why the Jetsons were put on TV through the mind of someone in Hollywood because of the creation of this earth, and how God showed us is every way, because there was every which way but loose. So he showed us every which way, but he didn't show us which way is loose. The way out. He showed us, but it's loose, because when you go, you go. It's a way up. It's open all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, do I write on everything? I write on everything. It's so encouraging to take it out of the mind and to get it onto paper. The Mayan. The my and. The may and. Angel 51. Mayan. Mayan. Oh my God. Mayan 51. Oh my God, that's insane. Oh my God. Oh my God. 204 408. That's insane. That's insane. It equals 3. Oh my God. What Mayan means is that it's the 5th month. The second letter is an A. We individualize it by the 2 first initials. They become separate, okay? Just like 1, 2, 3 in the alphabet, in counting, the first letter, the second letter, the third letter, and the 4th letter. We can break it up also into different syllables, right? So we go to the 4th letter, and that's the angle, that's the 4 corners. So the 4th letter of the man would be the A, and the last corner is the M, which means the 5 passage, which means the 5 passage is open. Now, by saying Mayan, the 5th month of AN, which is the 1 angel of neutralization, which is the 5, 4 and 1 is 5, that says 51, 51. 51 and 51, I don't even know where to start. Area 51 is the 5 keys in area 1 on what the one world is. One world is a dice, and in the dice is the black dot in the center. Okay, that's one world. So now, when the man counter comes to 51, he's in the 5 position of one world. There are no other numbers around it. You don't need it. This is the one world. We know what's all around it. what's around it, this creation of how 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can show you how all the numbers came to be, of course, in my way of definition. But anyways, let me get back to 5151 man. A 5151 man, okay, which brings you to Pennsylvania and Monopoly, and then if you do it again, 5151, it brings you to the first passage after visiting jail, which is the birth passage, okay? There's 2 passages. The 11th roll of Monopoly. It's a passage. Okay, I have to change that. Okay, it's a passage. I have to finish telling you what I always go off. So the 51 and 51, not only that, okay, it becomes separated. 55 or 11. Or 5 times 11 going 55. And then if you have the passage of 1111, which is the 2 worlds of 1010 plus the 1 spirit, make it 1111, okay, you end up with 51 again. Take away 11 from 50, you have 1 time around the Monopoly, and 11. 11 equals 1 and 1 is 2. Ah, Bertha Beta is 11. Bertha Beta is the 11th roll in Monopoly. Because the red spirit only comes after free parking. Free parking means Beta collects. Okay, she has made 9 rolls from 11 to 20. Okay, is 9, and 9 is a birth. So she makes it to a birth on free parking, and then she gets onto the red Kentucky. She gets to the red Kentucky, and in the red Kentucky, they run the thoroughbred horses. And those are the Top Gun horses, okay? Anywhere, everybody knows about the Kentucky Derby, okay? And Visa's giving away $10 million for the Triple Crown. So now we have Beta goes to there, and then all of a sudden you have the reds, and that's the spirit. And then you have the yellow, and the yellow is the energy, and you have the 3 properties of the energy, and one of the properties is a garden. And because it's the 9th property, it again stands for the 2nd level, which was 21 to 29 in Monopoly, okay? And the yellow are the 3 energies. Marvin Gardens is 1 energy, maybe. Marvin Gardens is equal to 6, the number 6, because the number 6 horse in, is it thoroughbred or standardbred, is yellow, just like the 4 horse is yellow, because they both get the yellow energy. So now I know from 21 to 29 there's 3 yellows, and one of them goes to the angel, and one of them goes to Beta. Beta yellow, angel yellow, man yellow at Marvin Gardens. Okay, now they each got the energy now. Okay, they're not green, they're yellow. Don't forget the seasons change. Now it's yellow. Now the next one after that is green. Why? It's yellow to green instead of yellow to red. Yellow to green instead of yellow to red, like at a stoplight. So now yellow goes to green, which is the life of the angel, life angel, okay? And then in Monopoly you have 3 of those. Then you pass short line. And short line, what it is, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you like this. Short line goes like this, okay? And what it is you go from here to here to here. It's a crossover junction, okay? These are short lines between each island. These dots, these hookups, okay? These are one of the expressions of the dots of the eyes, okay? So it goes from here to here, and then from here to here. It goes from the 3rd planet, okay? And Pluto creates Saturn. Saturn goes inside here, okay? Because up on this side over here is where Earth would be, okay? That's our creation. It means creation. Earth is in the corner here because Earth is the creation corner. That's who we are. Pluto's all the way out in the back, and he's a red dog with black ears. Anyways, I'm going to continue on to something else. That cube pointing towards the 9. It's cut in half because God shares it 1. He became 2. God plays 2. Oh, I didn't finish. Yes, now I remember. Sorry about that. So in Monopoly, after you get to the green, after that you got Boardwalk and you got Park Place, and they're navy blue, which means I mean, to me, it should mean the home of God, the world of God, because the navy blue world of Beta would be her blue with no white background in it. So it would become a navy blue, and if it had a white background, it'll have a baby blue. Okay, so that becomes Park Place and Boardwalk. Okay, which I'm thinking that what that is when it's Park Place and Boardwalk, dark blue and baby blue is the background. Background. White equals ghost. God is the ghost. He's in the white background. It's a G host. Okay, so he's in the white background, changing the color of our sky. But at night, right, God comes out from the background, hiding as a ghost. Okay, and he becomes his true color, dark in the night. Right, that's why they say back in black, but I'm still going over that. So the sky becomes a navy blue at night. And then you got Boardwalk and Park Place. And in between these colors, because the in-between colors are the two places you can't go, is 1, 2 with the dice and 1 on the dice, because you can't hit it till 40 times around. And that's the Baltic and the Mediterranean, and right now they're both sick. One they're digging into the salt, and the other one is contaminated. And the Asian islands are the islands of the first angels, along with Africa. Norway was a point of distribution. Switzerland was a point, because of the mountains, was high in spirit. France, being next to the water, was supposed to be the word of God, because God said, Je suis, Jesus, I am, in French. So the French and the English, well, that's very special, because when God finished everything and he looked at all the creation, he said A, B, C, D, E, and watch this. And then God says, and he says, and he says, and he said, hi, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Do you know what he said? He put everything together and he found out the language that was in between everything by squaring off everything, like the Chinese did to square it off. He went back to root 1, he squared it off, he rounded it off, and he checked all the designs in between, and he came up with the imperial language of the Queen, English. That's why English is prominent in the world, because it's an extension of every single first language that God ever put in here, okay, that extended out to ours. See how everything changed. Morse code? Want to know about Morse code? We're going to go back to show you. So I showed you, oh, did we get to Boardwalk and then go on Monopoly? And anyways, on October 4th, 2014, all the trains meet. The neutralization, okay, Switzerland, the mountains, oh my God, they're going to sing in 2014. All the spirit connections are going to start to whistle and sing. Well, that's just the imagery I'm talking, but I just feel it so deep into my heart. So this, okay, if you take a look, these two, the Hebrew here, Hebrew language, 3 dots. Now, there's 2 dots here in the Hebrew language, and there's 2 dots here. But they tend to never say anything about these 2 dots. They say it makes no sounds. The reason these 2 dots make no sounds is because it's the 2 worlds in one. It becomes one. These 2 on top of each other has 1 count, and beside each other have another count. It's like mathematics. If you put it on top, it says one thing. If you put it on the sides, it says something else. Okay? I just hope this video comes out at the end, because I'm working really hard. So we see this design. So we know this dot here and this dot here is actually like the 2 card. You know the 2 card right here, 1, 2? Okay? It means 4 and 6, means angel and man. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you put the cap on the card. Okay? I'm going to put a cap on each card. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is give it a little bit of life of some sort. I'm going to put arms and legs on it. Can you see what that is? That's the Magen David. Okay? It also makes the design of the club. Like I said, the Hebrew language, this goes below a letter, okay? Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to outline it, okay? The way I wrote it, I'm now going to outline it. That's what it looks like. It's a piping system, comes from down here, comes up, it goes this way, and it goes this way, okay? Or it comes from both ends, and it goes down this way, okay? This is one, it's When you say this sound here, is it or is it Whatever sound that is, because if it sounds like an it's angel. If it sounds like an it's electronic. Okay? If it sounds like a rat, it's resident angel. If it sounds like an R, it's angel resident. Okay? Resident angel is almost like saying a story. Angel resident is just a description. Okay? So the Hebrew letters, okay, of this, okay, include, okay, one meaning. The 1-3 creation of the 5. See, it brings it all down to here. This is the 5 position. This is the hole in the cup. This is the in-between of these two here. Okay, because these two come together to make one. And it goes right here. And now you have the 5 for the transference of all creation of man. So that's the Hebrew, the vowel Hebrew right here. And it doesn't matter really what. The tape's still spinning. That's all it is, man. This is our life. That's our life. And there it goes wobble. You see the way it wobbles? Okay, I think we're done. Although there's a lot. There's always more. There's always more. Don't forget Vav, 6, Zion 7. Odd and even. One is the value of the female machine, and the other is the value of God. But everything is odd. So even though you have the one machine, you have the one element, the angel. And you have the spirit. But that don't count for much because the spirit is a connection. You see, the Magen David, okay, shows 2 points down, and actually, if you really want to look at it, it's got 6 points. And one of the reasons for that is the 4 positions and stance. Because if you take a real good look, there's only 2 triangles that are actually sitting where somebody can sit on it. You can't sit on the other triangles. They're upside down. So if you just look at one level, there's only 2. It's you and your angel. Now the only thing I can never understand when they say you and your angel is that, is it me and my story that I get in heaven plus God? Or is there really an angel between us? Or is God actually controlling 7 billion ways? I don't think he's like that God. God did it slowly. He built up, he got employees, he created on earth, he made them back into angels, he brought them up to heaven. He had 2. They died, brought them back to heaven, they had 4, and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, he had 16, 32, 64. 64 is a derivative of 8 times 8. 8 sides of 8 of an octagon, an octopus, and you only got 8 numbers around the 5, right? We always forget one number. How come I never talk about the 0? Because the 0, okay, is an expression, okay, of a totality of one level. You see, there's 2 levels up and there's 2 levels down. Okay, each level is a 10. 10, 20, 30, 40. There's 2 points in the Magen David which are tilted to spin this world. Inside the Magen David are diskettes that run in. And it rains on the diskettes, and the diskettes spit out the rain. Have you ever seen the rainfall actually? Look at it. Look at how it comes down and the movement. Okay? And there's got to be a few elements like wind. And wind. Oh, I got a blow. Oh my God, 121. Oh, God. Where am I going? Why am I so nervous? What's God? Relax. No. You see, the other thing about life, okay, is we're all in business. We get the F plate. We get Valentine's in February. We're the 6-man F, 666, and so many more sixes I can tell you. Why? 51 is a 6. Area 51 is a 6. I never even thought of that. Area 51 equals 6. Oh my God, so man also is life is an area 51. Now, right away, I learned these things. I learned a couple of things while with you guys. Now, the thing is, learned it for me, for my book, my judgment. I look at it for now, verbally, between me, you, and my book. It looks right. I'm going to try and find a few angles, other ways to look at it, to make sure that it's got, listen, when you got a piece, okay, I'll ask you a question. You decide, beta world or diskette? This one's manual. This one you shove into the machine. Who pops out of the machine? I do. Well, I'm in your living room, am I not? I'm in your house. It's your house. You're number 5. But you're man 6. But you're number 5. 6 and 5 is 11. 5 times 6 is 30. We got 41. Neutralization. 1 in 4 angle of beta. Center city. Let's go. Downtown. You know what I wanted to do? I want to write a song or a little screw up about, I don't know, any of these rhymes or fairy tales or anything, because you know what? We listen to them talk. And when you listen to somebody talk, write it all down or see it properly, and instead of stopping at the period, stop 2 words before or 2 words after. Or read 1 word or a letter at a time. And start angling. Okay? I mean, it'll take a year to read a book, but you gotta angle. Ah, oh. And you just go on. The man said I go next door. The man said I go. The man said it snows. The man said he goes. The man's nose. So it's the nose at the end of every story. Look at that perfect 7 I got. I got a nice nose. Look how thick. I got the whole area of area 51. But you know what's in area 51? I show you. Hold on. Wedding. You have 2 nostrils. Area 51. 1 and 3 creation. The 2 is in between. The tail is tucked in and both eyes come down to my nose, making it the neutralization of 51, where I breathe in the air of God. Now I have a pig's nose. The 2 nostrils. In French, nos means the wedding. The wedding of 1 and 3 coming together after you breathe them in through the creation here into here. Both of these come to the middle. So you now have creation from the nose of beta, the 2 of the 5 position of God, right? But it's the 2-5 position. Now it's the quarter in the middle of the antlers, our cheekbones. So we got them to the middle of the antlers on the cheekbones and the nose, but now you got to figure, okay, beta, okay, doesn't have a whole body-like thing like we do. So right from the nose, okay, which you breathe in, and that's how we live. Well, having babies in prostate is the same thing. So therefore, this is bringing you life because you breathe in through the nostrils in the beta system of the electronic world between 1 odd and 3 odd, creating the 2. Passage in area 51 is the 2 nostrils. Now the hair grows from 1 down and the other one down, each onto its own side. Okay? There's a cross member right over here, but for some reason the way it's made out in a triangle, and it's pointing in towards our nose. But it has nothing to do with anything else, but it's pointing to this part of our nose. Right here. See the V? It sort of goes out to a point here and here. So now it's like the fake nose you used to wear for Halloween that goes into this nose and this nose. It's a hookup. The mustache is now a hookup. Well, what's it a hookup to? Hello, it's got to be a hookup to your mouth, because now it's passing through the hairs of your nose into your mouth. Okay, handlebars, okay, go all the way back up to here and make a round jack around your eye, making handlebars a creation of 1 and 3. And that's why they wrap, sometimes they take it and they wrap it on top of their head. And that's why earmuff hats, when they don't use them, they put them on top of their head. It's the same thing as the usage of the mustache of creation of the breath of life. Because when you slap the baby in the ass, he doesn't shit on you when he's born. What does he do? He burps and throws up. No. Wah! And it all begins by the one breath that was taken between the 2 lips. The 2 lips. And not only those 2 lips, but we came from the mother of her 2 lips. Okay? So you don't think lips are representation of other lips? They are. One flaps a little bit more than the other. A woman's lips flap a little bit more. Oh my God. So if you're Hebrew, and another thing for the word it, okay, is because when you start cutting off all these tops and bottoms, you're only left with lines. So if you keep one with a top line, but the other one doesn't have a top line, without the top line, T is an I. So you'd have IT. That's why we're all it's. They cut the top and the bottom off. Because you see here, this, can you see how I'm pushing it in? Well, that's all we need. You can take away the rest. The body can basically somehow live on that. You know why I think that? Something to do with the parrot. If you ever look at a parrot, he doesn't have any, he has a big hole in his neck here. So, do we always have to blow out the hot air from here? Okay? The parrot lets the hot air go out from here. So my recommendation and thought that since it doesn't go out from here, that we, because there's a passage of the nose, okay, and that's why we get a nose headache, because the nose connects inside the brain. Because the X-Man in the middle here, that matches from your creation eyes, needs to keep warm up here because he's being rained on all the time. I think that he's got to stay there at 98 degrees, and 98 degrees is what means inside of you. Okay, he is central by passage of 8 of a total of 9. So he is an X-Man equals 8 and 9. A 5 passage of 8 places of 9 positions. Okay. 9 and 8 equals 17, which equals the one Spirit of God, and in blackjack, you stand. And now I got to get out of here. Take care. I hope this all works out. Thank you very much. Oh, I feel good. I emptied out. Do you want to know how much of this I prepared? This whole 40-minute tape was on this. And really, 4 sides to the dice. 4, A, B, C, D. So anyways, the 4 corners, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. And then the center, A, B, C, D. But the center, you just thought of that. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what has to happen? Okay, is that the one in the center has to be a stop, or it has to be a hexagon. I'm not sure which one. I'm just going through it now. So all the corners get A, B, C, D, but the center has to get a different shape. Now I'm saying to myself, you see, if the corners are A, B, C, D, then there's something missing in life. So actually, on the corners, I have to have 8 octagon. The world is a stop, so there's 8 corners. There's 8 corners, 8 corners, 8 corners, 8 corners. The reason for the 8 corners, okay, is there were 4 corners, A, B, C, D. And I had to create 8 because it was a square. And in order for it to turn, I have to cut off all the angles. Otherwise it doesn't turn. That's why this world is a stop sign world. And in order to make that turn, okay, we have to make now an octagon with a hexagon inside of it, which is a totality of a turned over D double B, or a triangle, which intercepts in that. And that builds how the rotation of the totality, this is a basic, okay, works out. I'd just like to thank you for your afternoon, my diskette. You'll bring it back later? We're flying, man. We're flying, man. We got Rubik's Cube on a diskette, right? Take care. Raphael 7286. They call me the one who never did know. They always tell me I'm late and I'm the only one there. So what do you think? It's okay if they let rain on my head, because I am the one and only individual that possesses a name that everybody shares. But in my reign, it's liquid energy. In my reign, in the X, it's the X rain. What did they call that new stuff for your cars? You put in your windshield wipers, X-rain or something? Let me tell you one thing. We know when all the X's start coming out, that means the matrix is coming closer, because they're all triangulars. And when they fit all together, they're going to reach you in your bedroom. You're going to be scared, but don't be scared. It's only you. It's only you and what you think. You're the one. That's what's great about this world. It's that if you do something wrong to you, you come back and haunt you. You don't do anything bad to anybody else. You stay out of the way. You live in your woods. Everybody minds their own business. And you're being mauled by a bear. And why is he a bear? Because he's in your bed. The bears are in your bed. The bears are in your house. The bears are in your head. The G host, which is a brown host in this world, or a black host, or a white host. We call it the polar bear, the 1/6 alien bear of the water of life of the angel resident, the polar bear, Eskimos. Did I tell you about Urantia? Oh my God. The Euro that ran wild. A Urantia is a Euro running wild. Isn't that what it is? There's a lot more to Urantia, and I believe the aliens did send it. And they also said the Euro ran wild, and then boom, look at that. Urantia happened in Europe. The Euro ran wild. Urantia. We have the wild, wild west with black beta. The West. Western boys in East LA. You know why the Western boys in East LA? Well, the Western boys are the angels. And East LA is the Spanish. The spirit of the 1/6 man. The Spanish of love who help everybody out. French. The power of love. But the love of war is so much greater. Oh my God. And where did the French come from? Because wherever it came from in the French, it's even more inside those before, starting out from the Romans. So that line and that language will always possess the same meaning of the power of who they are. Do you understand how language changes? It comes from the power of who you are. It comes before you and before you. So this world, most of this world has one great connection. That's to the Pope. So we know one of the breaks in the one spirit, because the Pope is not a one spirit. He's a 2-1 spirit. Okay? And, well, that's what he tells everybody. But we're all 2-1 spirits. He tells the story differently. But wait a second, I tell the story differently. Yeah, but the Pope, everybody knows. But wait a second, I gave, oh man, I only can give $30 donation last year. Guy comes up to me, he says, the Pope? He says, yeah, we're talking about the Pope. He says, you made a $30 donation with your salary like that? He says, why is he surprised? I says, the Pope must have given billions. He says, the Pope? After he took in $86 million, he didn't give one donation. When he gave it away, it came back to him again. So he gave a donation with wings. Men have wings. Wow. I got my period. She's red. It's a $50 bill. What were they going to make the $1,000 bill? They want to take it off the market. Red money? Oh my God. The only thing you do with red money is what's written on it is the red of the money, because you read. Red money. Red story. Oh! My gray cat has come back. He tells no story, he tells no lie. But in the light, the white looks like a hole between him. His ears separate like a bunny rabbit. Okay? Just under his chest where the white is at the bottom. Okay? Can I point to it? Right there. Okay? Those are two arms right there, one on each side. Over here, there's white, but all you see is an ear and another ear. And it moves, and it moves, and it moves weird because of the color and the background in my apartment. The ghost has showed up. Oh my God, my whole wall there's a white hole in it. There's a white ghost here. Yeah, if you red, white, and black and blue, everything's good. I gotta go. Ciao.